4 years took me to get a goal, and with you, in the first 2 weeks, I got it. I was raised in a house where we don't talk about money, we talk about work.
What's changed for you since working with me?
Worked with you, like everything got clear. For the first time in my life, I know what steps I need to make.
Tell us a little bit about your results over the 3 months.
$13,000 to $14,000. My second month, I got an $11,000 month. And the third month, without working, 8,500 months.
Hey, Irving, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Justin, and you?
I'm doing very well. I just want to start off by thanking you. I know that you're a busy man and that you just got back from vacation, so you're a little bit swamped. But I want to just thank you for taking the time to do this with me. I really do appreciate it. Why don't you take a couple of minutes just to introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are, what you do. Uh, I think it's really important to share how long you've been studying personal development as well.
Sure, Justin. Thank you for the opportunity to share my story. My name is Irving Valverde. I come from Mexico. I am 36 years old. I studied engineering and I work for companies like GM and Robert Bosch before starting my way into personal development. So I was invited to a coach like in 2014. This is a coach where there's a lot of people. People scream and yell, "We can do it!" Kind of like Anthony Robbins way.
Yeah.
And that was my first contact with personal development.
How
And
long
I
ago
really,
was that?
really, 10 years ago,
Uh-huh. That's
10
good.
years ago.
Uh-huh.
It was my first contact with it. It started to change my mind. I was like imagining different stuff because I was like an office man working for a big company. I wanted to develop in the company, and I never made myself some questions like, why do I really want? What were my dreams when I was a child? Was the first time that I connected with those questions. And I realized back then that I had been asleep for a long time. Like I was in the flow, working, only working to work. I didn't love my work. I didn't love who I was. I was drinking too much. I was partying a lot. I was young. I was probably 20, 25 years at the time, not making anything for myself. So I started to pick up books. I remember this book. It's called The Business of the 21st Century of Robert Kiyosaki.
Uh-huh.
And I remember reading this book one Sunday, and it changed my life. It really, because it opened my eyes to the financial freedom, to the way I was working, to the little money I was making. And that was my first contact. After that, I bought a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I wanted to call myself a businessman, not working inside, but to put a business, to put money. I opened it with debt, and I started this way of making my financial freedom, but it was really, really struggling.
Okay.
I didn't make money. It was so difficult. 10 years from that moment, I remember it well.
Okay. When you say it's been a struggle, what was some of the pain points? What was some of the resistance, some of the things holding you back from creating financial freedom?
I can say it now, but I didn't see it back then. My mind,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, my mind, the way I think. I was raised in a house where the work is so important. To work is important, not to make money, to work.
Mm-hmm.
Even if there's no money in my family, we don't talk about money. We talk about work. And if you work a lot, you're a good person.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was like I grew up with sayings like, if you want something to be done well, you have to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I grew up with that. So that was for me. I didn't even have the the conscious awareness
Yeah.
to realize that my life was controlled by those thoughts. So those were I think the beliefs that were holding me back. But because when I started this franchise, I was doing all the work. I was working my ass off in my work, General Motors, for from 7 to 5, and after that I went to my home to work in that franchise. I worked a lot, but with little to no results. I was
Hmm.
stressed. My health was struggling too, um, and I didn't realize that was my mentality. Also, another belief that kept me from achieving great results. I grew up in a house where people lie a lot. They lie a lot to other people to take advantage of people. So I didn't realize that I was doing it too.
Hmm.
So time in my life, 2017, I lost almost all my friends because I wasn't conscious of what I was doing.
Hmm.
So I wasn't a really good person to be close to. So I didn't see it. So those were like really important moments for my life.
How long have you owned your current franchise now? The one that you're operating currently?
No, franchise went bankrupt
Okay.
after a year and a half. After that, I entered this business, which is insurance. I am an insurance salesman. In 2015, at the end of 2015, when the franchise bankrupt,
Uh-huh.
I entered this business. It's in August. I will be 9 years into my business.
Okay. And the reason why I wanted to do this call, because your story is just so important, because so many people that I meet have such a similar story to you. The outside might be different, but their personal development journey, because I had the same thing where I come across The Secret by Rhonda Byrne in like 2013 and 2014, and it touched my soul, right? So I was like, okay, I know that this is true, similar to your Robert Kiyosaki book. So I started taking all these action steps just under the belief that I believed what the coaches were teaching, but I was going from one failure to a next, to struggling with money, to um and it's so I had it, you had it, and 95% of the people whom I speak to who have been studying personal development for a long time have it. So what's changed for you since working with me? What has been the major changes that you've experienced? So, and I just want everyone to be clear, this is someone who, and I fell into this category as well, had studied personal development for 10 years and wasn't able to create that financial success. What's changed for you?
A lot. I was telling my wife because when you contacted me and we had our first contact and I saw the opportunity, I really connected with your story because what you were saying, like I really felt like we have a connection. Um, uh, when we started working, I realized that I have that even though I've been studying, as you said, personal development for 10 years, I have never really quite get it.
Hmm.
I get it on a superficial level, and I was lacking the tools, the guidance needed for me to apply it. I was telling my wife uh, this audio that I love, "The Strangest Secret in the World" by Earl Nightingale.
Yeah.
I probably have heard that 100, 200 times in my life. Sometimes I put it on my car, I listen it. It's so true, but at the same time, I wasn't able to implement the exercise at the end of the audio.
Hmm.
I never was able to do that. So when I start working with you, like everything got clear. Like, for the first time in my life, I know what steps I need to make. I know exactly really, really, really good because for the first time in my life, I didn't feel confused anymore. I felt like someone gave me a map of what I needed to do, and that gave me confidence. That gave me a roadmap. And for the first time, I was like, I understand. Think and grow rich now. I
Uh-huh.
understand. Someone gave me like the missing that I was lacking. No,
That's awesome.
I read that book. I love it, but I never was able to implement the book. I tried it. I failed. I never thought of paradigms. I never thought of self-image. I never thought of I never this is another big one for me. I worked like 4 years to try to come up with a goal, for 4 years took me to get a goal, and with you in the first 2 weeks I got it. So for me that was like really, really, really good, because for me it was a point that I never. So the goal for me was like huge. The self-image also. Um, and now I think my days are easier, because now I can see the root of the problem.
Hmm.
I can see that is in my thoughts.
Hmm.
I never was able to do that. Never, never.
I
I
love that.
sometimes, example, today in the morning, a difficult client of mine sends me a call. She's pissed because something went wrong with one of her policies. Usually I will get stressed and like worried, like what will happen? What is gonna happen? What did I do wrong? What do I have to do to make her like feel good? And today is like I am grounded in faith. I am
Uh-huh.
grounded in faith, and I don't get this emotion, this anxiety, this worry to sustain for a long time. And that is a tool that I don't know. It has changed my life,
I love that.
honestly.
Now, let's talk about real tangible results, right? I say this very, very often, but there's a lot of people who join coaching programs and they fall in love with their coach and they fall in love with the material. And then there's this great community and they say that they love the coaching, but then you ask them, well, have you increased your income or has anything changed? And they say, well, no, right? So for me as a coach, I put results at the coal face, even though we always talk about process, the name of the game is results. Tell us a little bit about your results over the 3 months that you and I have been working together.
Yes, as we talked last time, for me it has been a huge change, because even though I haven't reached new highs, higher highs of what I have made, the change is that I am creating higher lows.
Yes.
Now, the first month that we worked together, I made probably 13 to $14,000
Uh-huh.
my first month. I was super connected doing the work. Still, my paradigm hasn't changed, but I was doing the action income producing activities. After that, usually what happened to me in my 9 years of my business is that I have a good month, and then I have a really, really, really bad month.
Mhm.
I mean, like probably $2,000 to $3,000. My second month working with you, I got an $11,000 month, and that's a first for me. I have
Uh-huh.
never had like 2 months with this kind of income.
First time in 10 years of business that you had two five-figure months in a row.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, first time. Actually, the thing that I decided to take the coaching with you was you explained it to me beautifully. One good month, one per month.
Mhm.
I could look myself into that, because that is my story.
Uh-huh.
And I have tried everything to produce different results, and I have never quite get it. So this is the first time, $13,000 month, the first month, the second month, $11,000 month. And the third month it's a surprise, because I am on my third month working with you. I had a special situation when I have to take vacations. I never take vacations, but I took 3 weeks of my month
Mhm.
without working. Probably I only did my affirmations. I probably studied not in my best my best study, but I tried to do it every day,
Mhm.
and probably that's it. And usually these months when I do not work, I have done it before. It's a $2,000 to $3,000 month again. And the third month I was making my numbers because it's ending 8,500 months, $8,500 on my third month.
I love that.
So this is also new for me. It's a new reality.
Mhm.
But the best way that the best thing about everything is that I feel calm. I feel calm. I feel at peace.
Mhm.
I don't feel worried about money. I know that it's coming. And for me, that peace is everything. The money, it's good. I think I am doing good because I have been 3 good months in a row. So, but the mental peace, I think that's the best of all.
The reason why I wanted to speak to you, the reason why I wanted to do this interview is because, and I mentioned this at the start of this call, it is so typical where business owners literally earn 70, 80, some people 90% of their annual income in just 1, 2, or 3 months of the year. And as what they'll do is they'll have a great month, you know, 13,000 or 15,000, and then they'll have 3 bad months, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000. Then they'll pick themselves up, and then they'll have a $15,000 month. And it used to happen with me too, and it's your story is just so powerful because it shows like I always teach, yeah, we want to create higher highs, but real change is also in creating higher lows, and there might be someone who's listening to this right now who's frustrated because they think, well, I've earned 15,000 before, right? I've earned 20,000 before. And it's actually, it just shows for your story how quickly it can actually happen where, yeah, you have grown, but I always say you don't actually need to grow. All you need to do is learn how to implement what you already know how to implement, and your life will change. So there would be so many people out here. Like, I just love your story and I love what you've done. And I love the work that you've done as well. You deserve it. You're the one who's done the work. But there will be so many people listening to this thinking, if I just did what I already know how to do, I could quadruple my income, and that's what you're going to do. When we talk in 6 months' time or 9 months' time or a year's time, the numbers are going to add up that you're going to 4, 5, 6 times your income, because what's going to happen is that 13,000 is going to turn to 15,000, right? You'll create a higher high. It might not be record breaking, and then the higher low will be 13,000. And so what are some other strategies you tried in this past 10 years? Because I remember our first call very, very well, and you were saying that you were very familiar with Bob Proctor, you were very familiar with personal development. What are some things that you tried before getting coached by me?
Yes, like 3 years ago, I hired a coach, a Mexican coach. Actually, he's from Argentina, but he worked in Mexico,
Hmm.
and he's a coach that works one-on-one with you, weekly sessions. And he was the thing that we did in that sessions were like, what were your sales? How
Hmm.
many sales did you make? How many calls did you do? How many la 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 la? And I remember every session was like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Hmm.
I didn't do what I had to do. So it was really frustrating. He charged me a lot of money. I didn't get any results. And after that, in my way to personal development, also I read a book that I loved. It's called Reality Transurfing, which is mostly the same information that we're receiving from the coaching,
Uh-huh.
but also I wasn't able to implement it. I wasn't able to put it into practice. I tried that. I read that book for a year because I loved it. I loved the content of the book. I
Hmm.
really love how we explain it, but I wasn't able to implement it. And I also tried to pay Drupal coachings with a lot of sales insurance people.
Uh-huh.
With the group, we push each other, so we have a lot of activity. But I wasn't able to see that the root of my results is not pushing. It's who I am.
Hmm.
It's my beliefs. It's what I think I am. What I think I deserve. So that was the main thing that changed, that I'm working since working with you.
Love that. Were you skeptical before joining the coaching? Especially seeing that, like, you
Um,
tried, were you skeptical before joining the coaching? Like, seeing that you tried stuff in the past and
a little bit,
hmm.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So sometimes in Deepak Chopra meditations, I am abundant. I was like, I don't believe it.
Hmm.
Really, I don't. How is repeating I am abundant is going to change anything? I
Yeah.
was kind of like that, but
Okay.
now I understand it so much better.
What would you say to anyone who is skeptical? Let's say someone's listening to this right now, they have a business, They've read every book, You Were Born Rich, Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich. They've tried everything. What would you say to that person if they were thinking about being coached by me?
Yeah, I will say give it a try. I think it's worth it. I think sometimes, in my case, I lack the capability of view the content of the book of really, really Think and Grow Rich or all these books. I lack the awareness of seeing deep down into the book to implement it. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we need help. It's not bad to recognize I need help. I need someone who guides me, who explains to me to take this information and to lower it so that I can understand it and apply it.
Awesome.
So I would say I give it a try. Give it a try. Make this leap of confidence in yourself, this investment. At least for me, so far, it has changed my life because even the results are not where I want them to be
Mm-hmm.
in the monetary equation. I would say in the mental, in the peace, and also obviously in the monetary. These are some results that I have never seen before, and it's have been so quick,
Mm-hmm.
and it has been so simple. It's like I was telling my wife I think this audio of the strangest secret in the world
Mm-hmm.
was like an old TikTok video of Earl Nightingale designed for you to engage on the content, and
Yeah.
after that to enter into this coaching,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I love that.
Because only in the coaching you will get all the value that you are looking for.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate you taking the time to do this, but more importantly, I just want to congratulate you for what you've created. You know, I say this to everyone. You're the one who did the work. You know, like, yeah, my coaching program gives you the tools, you know, but it takes a lot of courage to invest in yourself. It takes a lot of courage to show up every single day, you know. I remember when we first spoke, I could see like me 7 years ago. You know, I was that person who had read all the books and I'd heard of Bob and I'd gone to the seminars and I'd gone to the Tony Robbins events and I'd done the coal walk and I was chanting that I believe and nothing changed, you know? So, yeah, congratulations to you for doing the work, for showing up for yourself. And we're just getting started, my friend.
Thank you, Justine. I also want to thank you. You're doing an excellent job. And I also remember I did that call walking with Anthony
Yeah.
Robbins in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yes, nothing changed. Nothing
Yeah.
changed.
All right, my friend. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, you made it through to the end. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, or share. Or if you'd like an in-depth breakdown of exactly how I've helped over 2,000 students globally achieve both their personal and professional goals, click the case study beside me and enjoy.